Welcome to Cyprus News by FinancialMirror.tv. Marfin Popular Bank will be transferring its headquarters from Cyprus to Greece due to the conservative legislative and monitoring framework in Cyprus, which was not in line with the aims of the group to become one of the largest banks in the Balkans, said its Executive Vice President Andreas Giannopoulos. Giannopoulos acknowledged that the shift will have tax implications of up to 30 million euros a year, as the tax rate increases 35% compared to a more favourable 10% in Cyprus. But he said this would be balanced by the release of up to 3 billion euros in capital following a different interpretation of the takeover rules in Greece. The valuations of the merger will be based on the first half accounts to be prepared at the end of June. Since Marfin Egnatia is a 97% subsidiary of Marfin Popular, it does not make a difference for the shareholders at what exact level the changes are made. In an apparent snub to the government's efforts to close a deal with a Qatari investment company to develop a luxury hotel on state-owned land opposite the Cyprus Hilton in Nicosia, Marfin Popular Bank Vice Chairman Andreas Giannopoulos said the deal does not make economic sense and in most likelihood cannot proceed. The government of Cyprus plans to move the technical school and the military police camp situated on the land in order to make way for the planned hotel complex and make 500 million euros from the deal. Giannopoulos said he was surprised at the way the government promised to relax zoning restrictions in the area and possibly offer other concessions without offering the same relaxations to other investors, including his group, which is proceeding with a major facelift of the Hilton at a cost of 100 million euros. The Employers and Industrialists Federation, OEF, has proposed a set of 4 measures to reduce unemployment, contain the high state payroll and improve competitiveness of companies. Speaking at the 48th annual meeting of the Federation on Monday, its chairman, Dr. Andreas Pittas, said that the proposals aim to enhance employment opportunities in the tourism, manufacturing and services sectors. He said that OEF proposes utilizing the reserves of the State Redundancy Fund, those of the Human Resources Development Authority, and a conservative policy on salaries, benefits and prices. Bank of Cyprus will reduce its base mortgage lending rate by a full percentage point to 4.25% in early June, following the easing of pricing pressures on deposits, Group CEO Andreas Eliadis announced. The rate cut will apply to all mortgage loans taken out before January 1, 2008 and all new mortgages up to a value of 200,000 euros taken out by permanent residents on their first home. Eliadis also announced the signing of Bank of Cyprus's first securitization of 1 billion euros of mortgage loans in Greece. He pointed out that Cyprus does not yet have the institutional framework in place to use such financial instruments, adding that he hoped that suitable legislation will be enacted soon. Meanwhile, it was announced that the Republic of Cyprus and the European Investment Fund have signed an agreement worth 20 million euros to support small and medium-sized enterprises in Cyprus under the Jeremy Initiative. The Cyprus economy narrowly escaped contraction in the first quarter of 2009, with a seasonally adjusted growth rate of 0.01% over the previous quarter, according to the flash estimate. Nevertheless, this was considerably weaker than the 0.5% recorded in the fourth quarter. Moreover, the year-on-year seasonally adjusted growth rate of 1.6% is much lower than the growth rate Cyprus is used to, which normally range from 3.5% to 4%. The flow of negative economic news continued throughout the week. Applications for company registrations in Cyprus fell by 46.6% year-on-year in the first 4 months of 2009, going from 9,189 a year ago to 4,907, according to Company House data. The index of industrial production fell 8.4% in February to 94.4. For manufacturing, the index decreased by 7.8%. The number of property sale contracts in April fell 55% year-on-year, according to the Land Registry Department. This follows the 65% reduction in the number of property sale contracts in the first quarter of 2009. Sales in Paphos, Larnaca and free areas of Famagusta were affected the most due to their dependence on sales to non-residents. Indirect tax receipts for April contracted by 5.7% to 180 million euros. Whilst receipts for the period January-April were 4.7% lower at 756 million euros, according to the Department of Customs and Excise. Air traffic at Larnaca Airport fell by 2.3% in March from the year earlier figure, according to data released by the Department of Civil Aviation of the Ministry of Communication and Works. A decrease in the number of passengers by 10% was recorded at Larnaca Airport, while air cargo was reduced by 7.3%. Paphos Airport recorded a decrease in air traffic by 13.8%, in the number of passengers by 20.4%, and air cargo by 65.1%. On a brighter note, tourism arrivals fell over the year earlier period less steeply in April than in February and March, but the main reason could have been the timing of West and Easter. Arrivals of tourists reached 181,395 in April 2009, compared with 182,091 in April 2008, recording a decrease of 0.4%. This was much milder than the fall of 18.1% recorded in March and 21.6% recorded in February. However, rather than signaling the end of the global economic crisis, it probably merely reflects the timing of Western Easter, which was celebrated on April the 12th in 2009 and March the 23rd in 2008. The market for the UK, the biggest market, was still weak, with a decrease of 9.9% to 84,526. Another disappointing outcome was from Russia, with arrivals down 11.8% to 9,455, the first time a fall has been recorded since January 2007. On the other hand, there was an increase in arrivals from Greece. Meanwhile, 84,000 residents of Cyprus returned from a trip abroad in March 2009, compared with 88,000 in the corresponding month of last year, recording a decrease of 4.6%. Thanks for watching FinancialMirror.tv.